Okay, so you're here. You look beautiful. You've got the lashes on, everything.
I just wanted to say,
yeah.
What lashes? These are my lashes. I had another podcast today that was like a big filmed one, whatever. And then I had an event tonight. And that podcast at the buzzer canceled because one of the hosts got sick. And then I just decided I was too tired to go to the event. So I was like, I guess I'll just... And because you have to pay a fee, like if you cancel within 24 hours, and it was so messy that they canceled. And so I was like, I guess I'll just get my makeup done for Heather's. And then the makeup artist was like, are you sure that there's visuals on hers? And I was like, did I just spend all this money to get it done for a podcast? So I've taken a lot of pictures in the parking lot.
Good. I hope you... This is also a very complicated parking lot. The parking deck's fucking confusing. Everyone gets lost coming to this building.
I took a slow motion video of me walking.
Yeah,
it's very urban. It's very edgy.
I'm so happy for you. Oh, listen, the face beat is good, so just lean in.
It better be, because it was $500.
Oh, fuck, I know. That's what people don't realize. The glam is so expensive. The styling is expensive. It's all very expensive.
And every time I'm like, I'll just do my own hair. Like, it looks like this. And on the way out, I was just like, oh, it's like a little... I just washed it. Like, why is it heavy up top? Why is it doing this, like, Tom Petty thing? Like, when I left, I was like, no one's ever had better hair.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Mine in the back right now, it's like I have such a deep cowlick in the front and the back.
No, it looks
great.
And
I tried to pull it together, but my friends have been saying it looks like a divot, like a golf divot all day. So I'm leaning in.
Lean into the divot, but I will tell you, as a fellow person from the South, it's blonde and it's long. Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares about the thickness?
Who cares about the thickness, honey? I mean, listen, half of it's fake, but that's what we're living. I lost all my hair when I did IVF, so we're just leaning in. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. So my son is 6 months old.
I know. I can't believe
it's all spiky. It looks like I'm wearing like a Kim Zolciak wig because like the front is like, this is not, hers are better, but like it's just like out.
We have the
front.
same hairdresser. Kim, who, my girl, shout out to Boho Britt. She does all of our extensions. And
I love extensions are the greatest thing you can do.
Yeah.
And I learned, I do want to say one thing. I know that I'm old because my assistant is 15. It's an indenture servitude program. And she had never heard Don't Be Tardy for the Party. So at 4 a.m. on the way
to fire
to
her
LAX,
immediately?
No, I was like, allow me to educate you. And I let her hear it. And I was like, is this any better or worse than pop music now? It is a jam. And I've done cardio to it.
It is what I absolutely listen to backstage to get amped for a show. I'm literally like doing my glam, just don't be tardy for the party.
I am so old that I remember I don't watch any of it now. I do remember watching it then and watching that song get pitched to her. And it was like an older man that had written Don't Be Tardy for the Party.
It was Dallas Austin, who's one of the biggest like music producers in the game. He'd done everything for like TLC,
really?
everyone. Yes.
Am I thinking of the right person?
I think so. Yeah. Like a really handsome black guy.
No. This was okay, maybe this is like a confabulation and I don't remember this. No, this was an older guy with like pitched her this song.
I mean, there's probably other people in the studio. It could have been. But either way, it was a Big Papa. It wasn't Big Papa, was it?
No. I feel like you have a very housewife-heavy audience. And I feel like I'm about to get...
like, canceled because you don't know
who's... And I said something about the wig, and I just...
No,
I don't care.
No. Listen, what people don't realize is like the housewives... And I don't like to have housewives on. I always get pitched to have housewives as guests. And I'm like, no, like let them be in their universe and do their thing because I don't ever want to ruin it. I've met some of the housewives and I feel like once you break that fourth wall, it's ruined.
Oh, wow. You're not having them on for very different reasons than I wouldn't.
No,
you're like, I don't want to meet my heroes. And I'm like, this is not a universe I want to be part of. I'm like,
I don't want to meet
really
my heroes.
Alcoholism and like lack of mental health. And no, they're too great.
No, they're too great. I need to keep them on the pedestal. I need them to stay in the Bravo universe.
Yeah.
And like I met Ramona at a Amfar Gala in New York and I was so
different.
It's different. They say never meet your heroes, so don't do it.
I will tell you, the other day I was coming home from Nashville and I got home. I always take the first flight out. Yeah. I'm a fucking pro and I'm sure you get that. Yeah. And I saw somebody sent me a video of Andy Cohen who was like, if you're in the Nashville airport, this is his voice, you might want to allot like 90 minutes. Security is bad. And I was just like, this is why we leave first thing in the morning. This is why we're not messy and leaving at 11 a.m. from a major metropolitan airport.
Yeah, like get the fuck out of here. I love this. So you're on tour right now. You're back at it. You just had a fucking baby. How are you doing this? I wanted to pick your brain about this, but also I know it's like, you're probably talking about this all the time because I'm going to have a child soon, probably.
You are?
Yeah, I want to have kids, but I got to have one probably next year.
Okay.
I've had a lot of fertility shit, so, and I'm contractually obligated to do a cruise in April, so I'm like, got to wait till.
That's where you're going to get pregnant.
Yeah, that's 100% where I'm going to get pregnant. But I'm like, the thought of being on the road and doing all that, I haven't wrapped my head around that. How are you doing it all?
Well, her name is Myrna, and she's a Jamaican woman who lives in my house
100%.
and runs my life. I'm not going to pretend for a second that like I'm like balancing like baking biscuits and changing a baby and like doing cardio. I think when you become a mom, I have to stop drinking this coffee. Yeah. I think when you become a mom, you have all these ideas of like things that you will do, things that you won't do. And a lot of that goes out the window because you don't know, which is why I'm like so like anti-judging other moms, because everything you said you wouldn't think or do, you're like, oh, that's why my mom was that way. Oh, there was something wrong with her brain, because that's what happens when you have a baby. But I knew that I was going to have help. And I worked very hard in my career to afford the life that I have. Like, it's all me. It's all elbow grease. And I just always envisioned help.
Yeah.
And so this isn't about like privilege or not. This is about like, this is what I spend my money on. That and nice flights. And other than that, I wear the same pair of jeans for like 10 years in a row.
Can I tell you, we spend our money on the exact same thing. I need a high thread count sheet. I need to stay at a nice hotel, and I need a front row seat on the airplane. That's all I need.
That's it.
I'm eating chicken tenders backstage. I don't give a shit. I don't even
eat the food on the plane.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I sleep.
Yes, I'm right there with you. I am taking a pill. I am out because my body is numb.
Yes, that's right. So that's what it is. She is the baby nurse, and she stays for about a year to like teach us the things that we don't know. I don't know when he should sleep. And I have a nanny, and we all these women who are very different than I am. We all work together,
right? And
that's how I do. And I have a husband who participates in my life.
Yeah,
thank God. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm sure you're the same way. Like, it was so nice to take a break off, to take some time, have the baby, wait. But we love it.
Yeah.
You love it.
You love it.
You love touring, and you love doing stand-up. So I'm getting to go back to something that I love.
Right.
I cry and I miss my daughter all the time. But like, if I didn't have that or have a chance to do art.
What good are you going to be at home? You don't want to be resentful to your kids. I mean, you know, and you of course you love your family, but you're also like, you were put on this earth to do something, which is bring joy. You got to go do that shit.
I got to do it for myself, and I got to do it just for like, this is what I am.
Right.
And you know, this balance thing, you know, I don't know that we're balancing. I just know that I'm doing it, and there's no really right or wrong way.
That's refreshing to hear, honestly, where you're like, yeah, I just put it in my list that I'm going to have a help with me, and just you fucking do it.
I'm just going to do it. And there's nobody, all other women will only ever, to your face, validate your choices. Online, it's like, well, here's what I do. But to your face, your friends, if you're like, I only ate chocolate today and I tried to hit someone with my car, they're like, you do you, girlfriend. Like,
live, laugh, love, bitch.
No one has the time to really care if you're co-sleeping with your 12-year-old.
Right.
I mean, I don't have one.
Right.
And I wouldn't, but I wouldn't care if you did.
I find it so interesting with all my friends who have, you know, young kids or newborns, and they're all doing the night nurse thing, which if they're not having like full-time nanny, they have the night nurse. And I'm like, why are we doing these baby showers? Why are we not just all pitching in the money we would for a new fucking, you know, snooze or whatever the fuck they are, and just give them money for like the first 6 weeks for a night nurse? Like
that a lot of people do that. Yeah. And I will tell you, just because I think this is largely your audience, this this Clockwork Orange room is
it's a lot.
Very disorienting.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm also like feel like I may have stroked out on the right side, so just don't even worry. I'm feeling the same things. Yeah.
The like whatever we'll call it, like baby having industrial complex that we all participate in. We all, you know, buy stuff, whatever.
Right.
There is a huge market out there for convincing upper middle class, largely white, but in general upper middle class women that you do not know what you're doing.
Wow.
So there's money to be made in fear mongering. Yep. You're not going to know what to do. What if it doesn't latch? What if they're tongue tied? You got to take them to this. You're going to need this. You need this special thing. And you end up getting all this stuff, and you don't really know what you need until you get in there.
Right.
And, you know, your baby is born. They don't immediately latch the first second. It's like, well, by the way, they only take colostrum for the first few days. There is no milk. And then it hurts. And then, well, there's a tongue tie. We brought my daughter to a baby dentist her second day on this earth because the nurse lady said she's tough. And she wasn't.
Right.
And plenty of kids are, but I think becoming a mother is this excellent test about really trusting yourself. Like as a mom, like you're like, I know that that's not what it is.
Right.
Like I know what's in the cards, you know?
Right.
And there's a lot
of money. Trusting
that
instinct.
There's a lot of money to be made off of your fear and off of your insecurity about not knowing what you're going to need. And then the competitiveness of like, do you want like a cashmere diaper? It's like, no, I don't. I don't want my diapers to have lead in them, but like I desperately want to get through this without spending $1 million on bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But it does get to you, and you start to think you need all these things.
Yeah, and I'm sure just like the art of comparison around the other moms is just probably it's overwhelming all the time.
I think for a lot of moms it is, and I think once your kid, also people ask you so many questions about your kids. I'm like, she's 2.5 and the other one's 6 months old. I am not in the game. We're not in school.
Right, we're not on a travel softball team yet.
I'm not there, so I don't know. I don't know, but right now it's very nice and easy. And say easy, it's lovely. But it will ramp up. But I'm not like qualified to talk about that yet. Because like she hasn't come home crying because a little girl was mean to her yet.
Right.
Probably because she's the mean one. No. We're not there yet.
Right. When in your career though, because I mean, listen, you've been in this biz for a long time and you've been just fucking crushing it. And you have been special after special and just you don't stop. And I'm kind of in this weird place where
you don't stop.
Yeah, but you don't stop in the sense like you fucking grind and you do your thing and it's like very commendable. When did you kind of give yourself that moment where you're like, this is when I'm going to try and have a baby? Because I'm kind of in this weird selfish space right now where I'm like, everything kind of popped off for me later on in my career, or, later on, and the clock is ticking and I'm like, when am I going to feel okay to take that time off to do the thing?
You won't.
Okay. Yeah.
But guess what? Like it never ends. It never gets easier and there's never a right time. So that means it's always a right time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think with Sierra. I just did it. I just decided. It's not like I'm on a show where like I'm a sex symbol in a bikini and they're like, if you get pregnant, it's going to ruin it.
Right.
The beauty of doing what we do, whether it is creating your own show or doing stand-up or hosting, is that it is this like blob of clay, and your career will never look like any other female comic's career.
Yeah.
Or any other male career. And that's good and bad. So the answer is you just do it and everything falls around it.
Amen.
You just do it, whether you want to do your special pregnant or you don't want to tour pregnant or you want to take a break. The world keeps revolving with or without you.
That's true. I needed to hear this. You have no idea. This is actually refreshing. And I knew that, Jen Zabrowski. You went to Emerson. So we were together today and I went and talked to like the Emerson theater kids and I was like, oh, I'm going to see Iliza today.
The spaceship
theater
that they have there?
It's so bizarre. The campus is so
I've
weird.
only been invited once.
Yeah. Well, you should go talk to the class because I was talking to the theater kids and Jen was like, oh, tell Iliza I said hi. And I was like, I'm going to ask Iliza about how she does all this shit. And she was like, this is a great point of contact, like great person to talk to.
Just do it. I mean, I think we all suffer a little bit of PTSD from the days of like a male executive saying you can't or you can't. I mean, like Ali Wong was pregnant in a special and I'm sure when she did it, she was like, well, I'm just like, I don't think she asked permission.
Yeah.
Like she just did it.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff is counted against us when we're trying to have families, when we're trying to like do very normal things that are actually extraordinary, that are expected of us. The answer is you just do it and everything kind of like falls around it.
Yeah.
And then there's other opportunities. Like, no, I don't feel as punk rock as I did, but like I get to get interviewed by mom blogs. And honestly, like I like it. And
it's like different perspective. You're pivoting and you're doing different shit. You're growing.
And you're evolving. And there's no right or wrong time ever. That's it. I don't actually remember with Sierra. I think we just, like, I was like, oh, this is the time to do it. And I did it and we failed. I had a miscarriage and I mean.
Yeah.
And then, you do a round of hormone shots and I didn't have that same journey. I didn't do IVF and I don't know if I could have. Honestly, I don't know if I'm made of that.
I fucked it all up. I didn't read the directions right, and I literally did it wrong like 3 times. And then I finally figured it out. Yeah, it was.
That's an expensive mistake.
It was a huge, expensive mistake. And then I finally figured it out. And now I'm going to do probably another round in December to get another embryo. And literally, I've like work smarter, not harder. I've hired like a nurse to come and do it. Like I can give anybody shots now. Everybody who's on Ozempic, I'm like, come to my house. I'd love to inject.
Yeah.
I basically have a short white coat. I'm essentially a doctor, but I'm like now for the mixing of the drugs for the IVF, I'm having somebody else do it. I'm not doing this again.
The things that we are not, like you and I are probably the same. Like I was not the kid in like science lab that was like, I'll take over. I totally know what a hypothesis is. No.
I cheated off this guy, Kevin Chang, and that's why I passed chemistry. And he ended up being a doctor at Harvard and now does real estate. You know what I mean? Like that's where we're at.
Because of those classes, I got very good at like pretending like I'm participating, but I'm 100%. Just like, what am I going to eat at lunch?
Yeah.
And so they just send you home with stuff. I had to do like an oil. And you have to put it in. And then there's that, like, you do it. It's like a progesterone shot. But then, like, if you do it wrong, so then you're panicking because it's not even the mistake on your body. It's the financial. You're like, do I have to buy another one?
Yeah. When you show up to a pharmacy and you literally, they run your credit card for $20,000 and then you just walk out with 2 shopping bags full of fucking jingle jangle bottles hitting together, and you're like, oh, I got to figure out.
Do I have to store this at a temperature?
Yeah, you do. And then you have to mix it a certain way. And I thought, see, what I fucked up was I thought you could just mix it all up and then store them in the syringes.
I don't.
But you can't. You have to mix it up per batch. So if I was going to give myself 5 shots a day, I'd have to mix it all up, then inject it. Well, I thought I was being proactive. So I mixed it all up, put it in the syringe, and then did it and just left them in my fridge for a week, thinking that they were all good. You couldn't pre-mix them. So I thought I thought I was meal prepping the fucking drugs.
Yeah, you can only, I guess, premix cake batter for so long before you use it. Like, it's a week-old brownie batter. Who wants this?
100%. And that's why they were like, your eggs aren't growing. I'm like, oh, okay, great.
Sorry.
It's fine. Listen,
You're like,
learned.
I have so much money.
Yeah. Well,
it's fine.
Honestly, that was my whole last special. It was just about it. So I was like, well, great. We got some material. I don't know what the fuck to do anymore. Glass half full. But
it's getting pregnant, being pregnant. Like, I had Ethan and we just had him, and it was like, every woman, it's like this tailor-made specific journey, and no two are alike. And that's why, having been pregnant, having birthed a child, having gone through it, I just have so much more empathy just for the schlep.
Yeah.
That it is.
The fucking schlep.
Just for having to be about to go on stage in front of thousands of people, and I'm in a green room, pants around my ankles, giving myself a shot, and I hit bone. And you're like,
fuck.
I just wanted to be a mother. I just wanted to have a little baby. Like, and people just shit on you for it, and the world is unkind, and now they're making IVF illegal. Maybe.
Fucking crazy.
It's
insane.
Crazy.
It is, after going through it, and again, you don't know about it until you go through it, and then when you're on the other side of it, and you're like, somebody is actually fucking chiming in on what I'm going to do with my body. It just, I'm so angry, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a lot, and like, we're expected to do all this shit. But I really look up to you because you have really been, especially with your stand-up, you just do it, and and of course it's not effortless, but you make it look effortless, and you're just really fucking professional, and you get the job done. So well done, bitch.
Thank you.
What is your pre-show ritual, though? I'm curious what you're like backstage. Like, what do you need in your green room? What do you do to set yourself beforehand? Nothing.
I'm like a stone cold murderer. Like,
really?
I raw dog it. Like, I need nothing. My writer, you could pull it up right now. I think it has blueberries on it. Okay. And that's left over from when I did the keto diet in like 2018. And like, it just keeps reappearing.
Yeah.
This is so embarrassing. I brought a younger comic, like just a girl that I hadn't met, like just to be like, hey, let's test it out for the weekend. And for some reason, like, she asked for a charcuterie plate. And I went to my tour manager and I was like, why is this on here? And she was like, oh, her reps asked for it. And I was like, I guess I should ask for one as well. So I guess that's on there now, but I asked for glass bottled water.
Yeah, same.
I only need like 2.
Right.
That's it.
I know. I think, too, my audience, for a second, it took them a beat to realize that, like, I'm not raging before the shows. I'm like, I'm a professional. I am sober. I am doing my stretches.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm just doing a lot of physical therapy because I threw out my back. So it's a lot of, like, I've got my bands. I'm doing the
preparing.
I'm preparing. I like to beat a face. That's my quiet time to, like, put my face
makeup
on. Yeah. Do you have like a playlist, or what are our motivational jams?
Well, I have a playlist that plays in the house for the people coming in, because I really like to
set a mood
and be in control of the experience. I am very invested in you enjoying yourself from the second you walk in till the second the meet and greet is done.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of comics use the green room as the opportunity to like exert some power. I don't need some runner to go get me like a vegan cheeseburger. I don't need people at my service. Like, I very much want to come in. I want to do my job. I want to have other people do their jobs, which means having the merch set up that I'm giving you a cut of, which means having the VIP meet and greet ready to go with the banner. I want to give people that time that they paid for, and then I want to leave and go eat dinner.
Yeah.
I want to do my job, and I get it from the fans, but like, I don't get power for making other people feel shitty or subjugated or something.
It's wild when you see how some other people are running their shit, and then I'm like, no, we're just like chilling. It's not, why the fuck is it always so goddamn dramatic? I know this is like the showbiz, but I'm like, we're doing comedy. Like, settle the fuck down.
But the other side is, I'm like, hey, like, are you okay if I go on stage and just do setups and no punchlines? Oh, no? Then you need to have these things set up so I can do my job.
I'm
not kidding. Like, I was thinking about like certain examples where it's like, how is it expected that I always do my job, but you guys can all fuck up?
Yeah.
And so that's why you hire a tour manager, so that I don't have to have those conversations. And of course, as a woman, it's like, wow, that's demanding. It's like, no.
Yeah. Oh, wow. She was a bitch. She's like, no, because I asked you to hit the music cues and get the lights and just,
there's
open the curtain.
Yeah. You had Nickelback here last weekend, and I'm pretty sure you had a magician here. I need you to play this one Rage Against the Machine song.
That's all I need. That's
literally.
All I need. Just so I can come out and just be angry. Just give me this.
Thank you so much. Hit play. That's it.
Amen.
Right.
Amen. So what's it like being adjusted after having your baby and now being back on the road? Is it
it feels great.
Yeah.
It's like we're back at it. I don't know that. Yeah. It feels great to be back. It feels like an old glove. And then it is, because traveling is a habit.
Yeah.
And so even if we do it a lot, the other day I was like, I didn't bring my headphones. Just sometimes I forget socks, these little, it's a muscle.
Yeah.
Right. It's great. I will say, having your baby weight, which obviously goes away, and I like to work out, whatever, but I didn't feel as good. And not having the option of wearing jeans, always wearing leggings, you start to, as women, there is a comfort in knowing you feel good in your body.
Of course.
Getting ready. And I did a get ready with me with Hannah Berner, and she came over to my hotel room, and she's in, she looks like she's going to a bat mitzvah. She's in a cute top and boots. And I'm in my leggings and my tour t-shirt. And she gets ready. She's like, what are you wearing? I'm like, I'm wearing this. This is what.
I know. I always tell Hannah, I'm like, she's on the Giggly Squad tour right now, and she and Paige are basically walking ads for Revolve. And I just get so stressed out. I'm like, you're always in a new corset. I mean, I'm a uniform girl. I wear whatever my tour uniform is for
but
that
you dress
trip.
up.
I dress up.
Yeah.
I dress up, but I know I have the same suit cut in 65 different colors, and I have my same boots, and that's my thing. I like to put on my show suit and go out and do my show.
Right.
That is my thing. And I get so stressed out from oh my God, with Nikki, I'm like, Nikki, you've got a new fucking outfit from fucking Shop Bop every other day. I just I'm sweating for her. I'm like, how do you do this? Is someone dressing you? I can't make these decisions.
I don't check a bag. So I like the tour t-shirt because A, people see how cute it looks on me, then they go buy it. But B, I don't have to devote. Some women love clothes. And I like clothes I like 2 pairs of t-shirts and 1 black t-shirt I own. So I like within that, but I don't have to think about it, and I just put it on. I can roll it up, and then I have more room in my suitcase for treats.
You know what we love?
Home.
We love treats, because I always see you post everything that people bring you to the shows. I'm obsessed with it. And then at one point well, actually speaking of charcuteries, my first tour out, I was like, yeah, guys, I love a charcuterie board. So women just started creating charcuterie companies.
Oh, your fans would.
Yes. They're like, honey, we've got, Linda's meat and 3. And I would just show up backstage, and literally the theater staff would be like, there's 65 cheese boards out here.
Can we have one?
Yeah, and I'm just eating rogue cheese. I don't know if anybody used a fucking glove.
You don't know.
I could have been drugged. It was whatever. But I love a wear. I love a gift. I love a jingle jangle. Give me a tchotchke.
Yeah.
What's one of the greatest things you've gotten at one of your shows?
I get that question a lot, and I don't have that specific answer, because I'd have to, it is years of gifts.
Of course.
I will say, for me, it's more it's more the concept that people are spending time and money to create a t-shirt, a bag, order supplies.
Yeah.
There's a video on my Instagram highlights, which I never look at. I made a little reel of all the clothes that were given to me by fans when I was pregnant with my daughter.
Oh.
And it's my mom, and it's just a whole queen-size bed of just outfits. And we toured through Europe, just baby outfits. I didn't buy her any clothes for the first 2 years
That's
of
amazing.
her life. And it's such an extension of love that people my daughter loved this. I get a lot of books. Yeah. And at the core of it, it really is someone being like, I loved this and I thought you would, or I saw your art, so I made some of my own art about your art.
Yeah.
I've got paintings.
The paintings are that's my thing. My office.
That's your thing?
Oh my God. If somebody does a watercolor of me and my dog, and even if my face is a little droopy.
Why is my chin so big?
I'm literally I'm into it. I told people bring me stickers. I put all over my shit.
Yeah.
But also, that has an upside of being a celebrity. I'm like, you do get a lot of free shit, and that is nice. But eventually I was like, okay guys, enough of the cheese board. My numbers are up. My cholesterol's through the roof.
I don't want to waste it.
I don't want to waste it.
We were driving through the South, and her name is Maggie Winters, and she opened for me this weekend in addition to Hunter Hill, who opens for me. She had never been to a Buc-ee's.
Oh,
and I was like,
Buc-ee's is my fucking jam.
Okay.
I was at a Buc-ee's last weekend too.
Well,
yeah, I feel you. Have you ever been? Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
It is basically God Bless America, but made in China.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not, You and I are very different women.
Yeah.
But I love you.
Yeah.
But I was like, I got to take you. You got to see what this is.
Yeah.
So I took her, and it's that thing where it's like, if you're a Southern mom, you either like chickens, cows, roosters, and there's sections. I'm like, they have a Jesus Christ tie-dye section.
Which is what everyone needs.
Which is everyone, yes.
Yes.
And so, well, yeah, the point is I bought my daughter at a little shop, not Buc-ee's, shop local, a pair of galoshes that had chickens on them.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I posted them because I was like, we're in Kentucky. I've got to buy this. But I was like, please do not buy me anything with chickens on it. Like, I had to let people know, like, this was cute for a moment. It was fall. I'm not that mom.
Yeah.
I just have blonde hair. Please don't buy me chickens.
Listen, if you had, and I didn't have a Southern mom. My mom's from Boston, so we never had the chicken kitchen. But man, if it wasn't like 2000 and your mom didn't have the full chickens, the big rooster, who were you? Were you Southern? Where are you from in the South?
Dallas.
Really?
Where the Cowboys play.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, Dallas. Listen, I did a tour with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Last time I did a show there, they gave me them real Lucchese boots. So
oh, my God.
Because I was a dancer in college. So I'm like, oh yeah, I might have missed my calling for that.
You're more Texas than I am.
I think I am. My family's from Fort Worth.
Oh, so. I love Fort Worth.
Yeah.
You keep looking at the camera like, it's like,
we love Fort Worth. Yeah.
I do. You ever play the Texas Trust?
What's that?
It's between Dallas and Fort Worth. It's in like Irving, I think. Anyway.
Yeah.
I love Fort Worth. I used to have a boyfriend that lived there, and they used to have the drive-through liquor store that would add it to the slushie. Of course.
Oh, yeah, but you just don't, people don't realize if you're not from the South, as long as you don't poke a hole, put the straw, break the seal.
It's a sealed container.
It's a sealed container.
Officer.
Hell yeah. So we just take the top off, chug it, and then when you get pulled over for the DUI and your face is purple, they're just like, you didn't poke the hole through the straw.
Technically, it was sealed.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was pre-Uber.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like 2002, and so we were just doing that. But Fort Worth was great.
And then you moved to Boston and you went to Emerson.
Yeah.
Right? So we have like so many mutual friends from that world. And then were you immediately doing stand-up in college? Or
no.
when did this happen?
I was in like a comedy troupe.
Yeah, as we all were.
Like a sketch troupe. And
Yeah.
I love that because I love doing sketch and I love that art. Like that speaks to me. And then I moved to LA and the honest truth is, this is like the honest story that I always avoid telling because it's so weird. I was like, I want to do stand-up. But I'd never heard of the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
I knew of the Improv because I would pass the Addison Improv on the way to high school every day.
Right.
But no real context. Like my dad took me to see Ellen when I was 16, but I wasn't like watching these specials, right? Like no. And I was like, well, how do I get stage time? Because I'm a very like A to Z. I'm like, I bet I could just go.
Yeah.
So I had done a one-man show and I had done a little bit of stand-up on this ship when I did semester at sea. Like I'd written, I was like, I could do this. How do I get stage time? No idea. And I saw an ad, probably in the paper, for the Judy Comedy. Oh my God, this is a mom
It's fine. It's fine.
Judy Carter Comedy Workshop.
Okay.
Judy Carter wrote this thing called the Judy Carter Comedy Bible.
Amazing.
Okay. And so it was like a class.
Yeah.
And it's got tiers and it's whatever.
Yeah.
And it was at the end, you take the class and at the end there's a
You do
showcase. And I
Yeah.
thought, well, if I could just do that showcase, that will be it for me. Then I'll get discovered.
Yeah.
I took the class. And it wasn't great. And the students, I ended up writing a lot of the material. I was like 21 for the students in it because you either get comedy or you don't.
Yeah.
So I just write like helping, just like here's what's funny, whatever. And I met someone in the class. I met a guy, just not like a romantic, but just another man.
Yeah.
Who was like, my buddies and I run a show. Would you like 5 minutes?
Great.
And it was a group of guys. They did shows on La Brea. I'm still friends with some of them now.
Yeah.
And I just started doing stuff on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
And then that begot other shows. And that's what it was.
Amazing.
So I took the class. And what I got out of it was this friendship that gave me that. And that's how I got my foot in the door.
I mean, that's what I did too. I had started in stand-up like in high school, and then I was doing more like just theater in college.
In
Atlanta. Yeah. And then I was doing UCB in New York, and I was kind of like doing sketch and improv, the same thing. I was like, but stand-up was always in my back pocket. And then when I moved to LA, I literally took a class with a woman named Judith in Atwater Village, Judith Shelton, and she...
Different Judith.
Yeah, different Judith. Yeah. And I was like, what am I? I was like, I already have...
I could do this.
Yeah, I can do this.
I have an hour.
Yeah, I literally, the next thing you know, I was like, I have an hour. And I was like, why am I not doing this? And you know, the UCB world was so great, and I loved flexing that muscle, and I love wearing wigs, and I love playing somebody other than myself.
I love wearing wigs.
I love wearing wigs. Like my office is just wigs, and I miss it. That's what I kind of like. That's where I popped off, was doing all these characters online.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, but I want to get into stand up because I was like, I knew every time I try and go pitch a sketch show, because you had a sketch show for a while, right? But I mean, if that's your love.
I loved it so much.
Yeah, no, but I remember watching it like, this shit is what you want. And then, but nobody wants to fucking buy a sketch show anymore. So I was like, well, then I'm going to go back to stand up. And I love it. And it's like the greatest joy of my life because I can actually fucking go and do it. If you can put asses in seats, you can do it.
That's
God,
exactly
I mean, you've been in the TV biz forever, like trying to get this shit off the ground. Some days you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Doing it now.
Yeah.
Tangent. I would say in the TV biz, around the TV biz, I would say in is putting it too successfully. But that's what's so great about stand-up is you don't need permission.
Yeah.
Like, you got to sell tickets or whatever, but it's not like a TV show where you need to get all this input and all these things.
Yeah.
Like, you just do it. And it's been very freeing, over the years, trying to get projects off the ground. And I'm like, I feel like garbage. I just had to audition. They said my name wrong. And then you go to a theater where people are tattooing your name on them.
Yeah.
And you're like, I was a god
you're
yesterday.
Like, have you been to Columbus, Ohio? They fucking love me.
To Columbus, Ohio. And you come back to LA and they're like, Iliza Shlesinger, we don't have your name for security. And you're just like, but if you could have just been there last night at the 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so thank God we have it. And for me, like having the baby, being able to go back to that and it's comfortable and you're with the people who have supported you. Like, you probably know this. There's nothing, it's so validating now that I've been doing it, now that I'm older, to have people come out. And it was not lost on me before, but when people say like, this is my 5th time seeing you, like that means 5 times in a row, like you got a sitter, you spent the money, you came out, you drove, you came in COVID. It bothers me when they're like, I saw you in 2018. I'm like, where have you been?
Yeah.
I've been here 4 times since then. This is not an expensive ticket.
My thing is, it's so funny. I have the girls who come up and they're like, stop you at the airport and like, I'm literally your biggest fan. I'm like, oh my God, I'm on tour. I'm like, what shows have you been to? They're like, wait, you're on tour? I'm like, bitch, you're not my fucking biggest fan. So I have a catchphrase with this podcast. I'm like, if people are really dialed in, they just say tiramisu bitch. That's just our thing.
That's how
so
they
when
know.
They see me, tiramisu bitch, what's up? And they keep moving and I'm like, tiramisu bitch. And that's how I know. So I'm
I like that.
That's what I did. I started to weed them out. I'm like, oh, really, Emily?
Why tiramisu?
Tiramisu is my favorite dessert. And then I just was like, you know what? I was sitting on the podcast one day, like, if you really, and like I was at a show, I was like, if you really like are an OG tiramisu bitch. And
Doesn't
it's just
it mean
our thing.
Like crying? Doesn't tiramisu
Probably,
mean,
probably.
Like tears? It does, like the word actually.
I don't know. Let's look this up. Josh, look up what tiramisu is.
I think it's like.
I mean, I'm Italian. I should know this. I just love the finger. I love the lady finger, little, soft sponge dipped in the espresso with the cream. It just brings me joy.
You love some. I like fruit flavors. I like a strawberry shortcake.
Oh,
I like a lemon.
I always have a strawberry cake for like strawberry.
In the green room.
Yeah, in the green room. I have a strawberry cake, strawberry icing, freeze-dried strawberries. That is my birthday every year.
Yeah, I don't like chocolate.
Yeah, can I tell you? I never go for chocolate ice cream. What's your ice cream choice?
Chocolate salt electrolytes. No.
Yeah.
Probably strawberry.
Yeah.
Or a fruit, like a mango.
Yeah.
Mashti Malone's here in case you're out tonight. It's like one of the only late night ice cream places in LA. Okay. And it's all homemade and they have some Persian flavors and they have some Caucasian flavors. But they're all really delicious and it's all fresh. That's my after sets. I go to Mashti Malone's.
I'm so jealous because your husband's a chef and I always see that he packs your little, your snacks and your lunches for the plane. Yeah. And I'm like, Jeff, if you're listening to this, honey, I need more fucking snacks on the plane.
Pack a lunch, Jeff.
I would like a chicken cutlet tomorrow.
Well, I don't want to eat. Here's the thing. He packs my snacks because I never want to eat I'll eat food on an international flight, but I sleep. Like I fall asleep instantly.
Same.
I want to eat the second I get on the plane.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait for the service.
Yeah.
So I just eat before takeoff and then I fall asleep.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you something?
Oh, please.
What I thought you were going to say was when you run into a fan, because we're talking about like people that are fans.
Yeah.
The thing that like hurts the most is when they're like, oh my God, I love you. I saw da-da-da.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great. You come in tonight? They're like, oh no.
No. Yeah.
I'm going to go see Paul Abdul.
I get plenty of that too. You're like, no, did you know the Harlem Globetrotters are here?
I'm like, I lost out to the Globetrotters.
Yes.
We're not the same demographic.
Yes. And I'm like, are you taking your kids? They're like, no, solo trip. I'm like, what the fuck? I get that a lot.
I'm like, you could catch the second half of my show if you come later.
Yeah, I'll let you in the green room. If you just want to sit on the side stage.
We really want you there.
We really want you there.
Really
it is wild what people will say to you in public sometimes. And you're just like, wow, brazen, balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've learned there's that. And then like, I think sometimes it took me a long time to realize this. People get so nervous and, sorry, I'm not crying for those of you listening. I burped. And they say weird things and sometimes they say offensive things. And I've actually learned, I take a note from like, sometimes you see like really pretty actresses, like they don't say much.
Yeah.
I've just started doing that. I just say less and I'm like, thank you. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much. I just let it wash over because nobody means it. And sometimes it's just rude or it's just inconsiderate. And I'm just like, thank you so much. Like, It's just, there's no reason to get into it because they're having an out-of-body experience as it is.
So true. I used to get a little like annoyed when they'd be like, I drugged my husband here. He did not want to come. He fucking hates women.
Thank
and
you.
you're like, what the fuck?
What are you saying to me?
And then I always say, what's your name, Rich? Did you have a good time? Or he's like, hey, actually, new fan. Did not think a woman could form words into a sentence on a stage. But I got to be honest with you, had a really good time for the last 90 minutes. And you're like, everyone go fuck themselves.
Did not think you had first person awareness as a sentient being. 100%. And it is offensive because you would not say that to any other type of minority.
Ever. Yeah.
And it hurt. I drag them. Yeah. Even if they had fun, I'm like, that implies that like I'm so bad, like so unpalatable that you had to drag someone.
100%.
And the one that breaks my heart, and this is not their fault, you'll get girls that are like, I never liked comedy. And I'm like, oh no, sweetheart, you don't like your boyfriend's like jock itch comedy. You don't like these like rapists that are making jokes. You don't like comedy that isn't made for you. Or women that just aren't exposed to stand-up because their boyfriend weren't playing it or they weren't dating someone. Because it largely, for the longest time, was something consumed by men. Yeah. So girls, it's for you. And at least if it's me or Heather's act, like it's definitely also for your partner.
Yeah. I know I'm also, my new hour is literally just me like being like, let me explain to all the golf husbands out there why your fucking wife is pissed. And then the guy's like, man, I really learned something. I'm like, this was a TED Talk, Ted. You know, like, I hope you enjoyed this.
I get that. Yeah. And it's also like, we don't set out to educate you, but like as intelligent women, I'm just like, no, I'm not going to get up there and bash men. I'm going to explain the way we're feeling, which is the way I'm feeling, which is the way you're feeling, and you're going to enjoy it. But there's like, you don't get to this level without like it being like empirically funny.
100%.
It's not a freak. Like I just came and I tried it. I'm like, of course you fucking liked it.
Yeah, of course you had a good time.
This is what we do.
The white wine was flowing. Shut the fuck up. Just have a drink. Enjoy.
Just enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I mean, but like you've just done so much. And I remember when, you know, I was talking to Jen. She was like, you two are just going to hit it off. And we met backstage at Netflix and you were so nice. You did not have to be nice to me. I mean, that was already a stressful situation. You were like, hell yeah. And I think you were like, go crush it. And you went, I think, after me or like, you went right after me, I think. And I was like, you were the fucking best. And that really meant a lot. I was, because, you know, I didn't know a lot of people because I was kind of doing my own thing on the East Coast. I wasn't in the LA scene. So your kindness actually that night really sparked something. I was like, we got to sit down and chat.
I appreciate that. And I also, we're doing this podcast 3 years later.
Yeah, we really are. Actually, go fuck yourself.
No, but I knew your name, and so I like when other girls are funny. What I don't like is having comics, male or female, shoved down my throat that I don't think are funny. That's what builds that animosity. That's what builds that competitiveness. But when someone's funny, it like my butthole releases because I'm like, oh, then that's okay. Yeah, that they're getting success. Like that doesn't vex me in the same way. And I didn't make a choice to be nice to you. Like I'm a nice person. Yeah. And you're also a girl who does this and you were nice. Yeah. If you came in, like some people we've talked about before, like with an attitude, I probably still would have been nice, but I'd be like, that girl is a pill. Yeah. But I do remember the few times in my life that I've come in contact with women who do stand-up that were older than me or have been doing it longer, and they were nice, and how even the smallest thing, how much it did mean. Lynn Koplitz, one time I featured for her Catch a Rising Star in Reno, which doesn't exist anymore, and she was just nice. Like she just was like a person. I met Kathy Griffith when in like 2009, and like I came to her dressing room and I was like, hi, and she was nice. Yeah. It's not like they, you know, extended the world to me, but I think it's such a cold business, and I think there's so much competitiveness just among comics. Yes. And I think at a successful level, people are nice, and we're so used to dealing with the dregs of the earth coming up. So you do build up this like armor, but it's never personal. Like I've never met a female comic and been like, watch out, bitch. Yeah. And so I remember, I'll never forget this. I don't know if you're friends with Angela Johnson. Yeah. Love her. We knew each other forever. Just knew each other, friendly, whatever. I was doing a show at a small theater. This is forever ago in Detroit. And she called me out of the blue and she was like, I'm in Detroit. I want to come say hi. And I was like, no one's ever come to say hi. Because you're just like alone. Like you said, like you're just doing it. It's a lonely gig. It's a lonely gig. There were not a ton of other women touring. And so it's not, I just made it up as I went along. And then you're supposed to be like best friends with all women. And you're like, I don't know you. I don't know anybody. Yeah. I remember she extended that to me and I was like, oh, that's cool. I should do that. But it is hard. You're traveling. I'm like, you can't hang out. You're working.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Everyone acts like they're like, oh, do you have like beef with such and such? I'm like, I have beef with no one. We can't all hang out all at the same time because one weekend you're in Cleveland, I'm in, Uzbekistan. Like that's what we're doing. We're all just on the road. We're working.
And also, if you are a headlining comedian, you could put together like the Heather McMahan and Friends tour and you could bring some people, but you're probably, unless it's like a special occasion, not going to be on a lineup with other comics at your level because you're not going to get paid as much. Like it's not this variety show. Yeah. And so it's not that there's no room, but you're like, I'm busy doing my tour.
Totally.
So there's no room. You wouldn't be around another headliner doing an hour that night. Like it's a solo sport.
It's a solo sport. I played golf growing up too, and that was also a solo sport. I know I don't seem like a golfer, but I was a good golfer.
Just golf in general.
But I say golf and stand up are very similar. Yeah, right? Yeah. It's a solo sport. You're out in the elements.
You don't have to be athletic.
Yeah, you don't have to be athletic, and you will blame anything. Like if you have a bad night, you will blame anybody but yourself. Like golfers always like, well, the wind, and I got stuck in the sand trap, and then the sun was shining, and there were bugs, and I was this, and I was dehydrated. It's not just like
so true.
I was fucking off and I had a bad day.
I was hungover.
Yeah,
you have a caddy, your tour manager.
Exactly. The opener, like you've got somebody, but you really are a solo sport. So it's funny, it was a natural transition for me from golf into stand-up. And then I was just like, oh, it's the same fucking shit. You're traveling every week. It's a solo sport. Yeah.
It just is, and there's this, I don't think it's around anymore, but there was this demand that like you be friends and support all women. I'm like, that's not a meritocracy, and that's not how art works. You cannot do something to hinder another person. Like I would never go out of my way to make sure someone, like I don't have time for that. Yeah. And you can have people that like, I don't love your art, but I'm not going to spend my time going around having an issue. You'd have to do something really severe for me to publicly be like, now we have a problem.
Yeah.
But it is.
I'm too tired. If somebody's even an asshole, like some of these parties you go and like, oh God, there's something in the fucking room. I'm like, I am so fucking tired. I'm not worried about you. You do you. No. I'm gonna do me. I'm going back to Atlanta. Fucking peace. Peace out. And
I think at the end of the day, people respect. You could be the biggest bitch in the world, but if your specials do well, nobody's ever going to tell you that.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody's fake.
Yeah.
and
just be a giant cunt, but come out with good specials.
Game recognized game.
Go. Are you down to do some voicemails?
Is he going to say the tiramisu thing? Because I've been waiting.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, yeah, sorry. What is tiramisu?
Like, when are we circling back?
Yeah, sorry. What?
Pick me up or cheer me up.
Oh, tiramisu means pick me up or cheer me up. Well, then you go. I'm a cheerful bitch.
Yeah. I thought it had to do with cries.
I mean,
tears.
I should know this because I'm Italian, but I didn't know.
You're not responsible for all Italian desserts ever.
But there are some days.
Do you do the 7 fishes on Christmas?
So I don't do the 7 fishes on Christmas. My husband's family does the 7 fishes on Christmas, and that's a whole other thing because they think they're far more Italian than us. But
are they?
Yeah. Well, no. But
Whoa.
My mom's from the Nathan in Boston. So, but I've got that real Scots-Irish last name. So it's
go either way.
Yeah,
okay.
You know what? Just we don't even have to go there because
I do the 7 fishes.
Yeah.
And I'm not even Christian.
Yeah, I was going to say. Why are you doing the 7 fishes?
Because my husband's mom is Italian.
Yeah.
So I get shrimp and I love it.
Yeah, just the calamari, the whole thing.
All of it.
Fuck yeah. Okay, so what we do is absolutely not, people can call in. Also, if you're listening, call in 800-213-7503. They're not live, but just for the next episode. And, we just give them advice or we just listen to them bitch. Josh, hit us with a voicemail.
I'm going to do my lip gloss just to get ready.
I know. I'm like dry as hell today. No, I'm okay. Thank you, though. I'm like
it's brand new.
I'm chewing it. Oh, can we turn it up just a little bit?
I'm going to remain anonymous for this one. But I just want to say absolutely not to starting a new job and being desperate for some friends because you live in Los Angeles and it's really hard to make friends here, and accidentally becoming close to one of the girls who you thought was really cool and fun and nice, but eventually you realize that she's a mean girl and she makes you feel bad about yourself and makes you feel left out. And you work together, so you don't know how to set boundaries, and you peed in your own pool, and you're just getting
hypothetical?
I don't know.
repercussions of your decision and not sure what to do. So would love a little advice here. But anyway, love you so much, and say no to mean girls. Thanks.
Okay,
Bye.
can I tell you, in 5 years of this podcast, we've never had anybody call in with like an actual like game time problem. So
did she mean shit where you eat?
Yeah, I think she did.
Peed in your pool. I was
Did
like,
say
did you
pee in your
really
pool. I've never heard that used in that context, but honestly, kind of also love it.
You peed in your pool.
You pee in your pool. I mean, that's tough. You know, I work with friends. It's been a challenge to like set boundaries and also in like a professional situation. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I can tell that you're very young. I can tell that you're in your early 20s. I'm going to tell you this right now, and this will not, you won't like it, but I'm going to tell you what it is. And you've moved to LA. You will not have this job in a year.
Yeah,
you
that's
will
a
not
great
have
point.
these friends in the year. She will, if she is a true bitch, she will either burn out, do something weird, accidentally get pregnant, have to move home. Like, do not give as much credence to these things. You are here. You moved to Los Angeles, which means you're goal oriented. Like, or it doesn't, or you're a mess.
Yeah.
But you came here for a job, so you're not an actor. Eye on the prize.
Eye on the fucking prize. And I also say when people are like just genuinely cunts to your face, they are projecting so much. I think my downfall will be that I'm a great empathizer, but I also think that's why I'm good at comedy, because I understand why people do what they do. But that's the thing is I'm like in a constant observation. So when someone's blatantly like a douche, I'm just like, all right, I get why they're a douche. They're dealing with XYZ. It doesn't mean I have to accept that behavior, but I can just remove myself from it and not take it so personally.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess on my own podcast, I'm always like, I need context. Like, I need to hear, because if I knew what the girl said, I would know if it was personal versus if it was, or she's jealous of you. Are you pretty?
Yeah. Are you fucking hot?
Are you hot?
Are you hot,
if you
bitch?
are.
Yeah. I felt the voice was hot. I was getting like, she's got a nice long almond French tip nail though. I was feeling it. I was feeling she has
not
fresh
a
nails.
coffin nail. It's an almond nail. You're
People
not
are doing the coffin nail. What the fuck are you doing?
Too long.
It's too long.
Yeah.
That's my one thing. I love to watch the Kardashians and just a sense of like aesthetic. It's aesthetic porn for me. How they eat the salad, everything's cream. Like it's just nice and like a clean show when I'm hungover on Sundays.
Sure.
But when I see Chloe's like nails tacking around, it gives me really bad anxiety.
Yeah, it's not a choice I'd make for myself.
Yeah.
But as for the person calling in, I think you need a follow up because I need to know. I'm gonna give you my number.
Yeah.
But
we do need a lot of context.
I think if you call her out, it will make you more uncomfortable. You're not going to change her. She's obviously going through something and she's threatened by you. Otherwise, she wouldn't bother. Nobody is shitty to a girl, like just cause.
Just cause. No, she's insecure with her own shit. Let her roll off your back. And again, you're not going to have the job in a year.
Yeah.
Go on Glassdoor tonight and find something else.
So if you really want to put the fear of God in her, call her out right in front of other people.
Yeah.
Just be like, well, you said this, and just let her figure it out. But if she's super crazy, she'll figure out a way around it. So, but just know that you're there for a reason, and it's not her.
Yeah. Eye on the fucking prize. Great advice. Let's get to the next voicemail.
Hey, Heather, it's Abigail from Nashville. Absolutely not to my mother teaching my children, my 3-year-old and my 2-year-old, the word diarrhea. Because now it's their favorite word. And recently, they've been calling me Diarrhea Mommy.
I love this. I love this.
At the grocery store, and they'll say, Diarrhea Mommy, Diarrhea Mommy, where are you? And I've got very independent and funny children, so they do that often. We'll be at the playground, and my son will yell, Diarrhea Mommy, watch me go down the slide.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so every other mother in Nashville at the playground looking at me, laughing, saying, oh, look, it's the Diarrhea Mommy.
Yeah.
And I just, in a way, say, yeah, that's me. That's my kids. They're funny. So anyhow,
I love that.
Absolutely not to being called Diarrhea Mommy.
I would say absolutely yes to this.
100%.
I would get a jacket embroidered with Diarrhea Mommy on the back of it.
DM me the details.
Start selling merch. Like build an empire.
I say diarrhea a lot.
Same, because I have it a lot.
I think it's a funny word. I actually think if we remove the meaning, it's actually a very beautiful word.
Yeah.
Diarrhea. I immediately taught my daughter the word diarrhea. I am the antithesis of this woman. And I say it a lot. We say it a lot because it's funny.
Yeah.
Farting is funny.
Farting is so funny.
Tooting. So just go with it.
Lean in. Let them know. And I bet there's a million other mothers on this playground. And I know where this woman is. She's in Green Hills, which is a very affluent area in Nashville. They're all having diarrhea too. You know, just who doesn't shit themselves every couple months?
And it feels great.
It really does.
To just clean it out.
Thin as anything. I will say the amount of shit that I am pushed, no pun intended, but like on the probiotics, when people are like, how's your gut flora? Like, don't fucking ask me at dinner how my gut flora is. When do we just become a society, though, that's constantly with the probiotics? And I get a prebiotic and the probiotic. What the fuck biotics am I supposed to have? I'm usually on antibiotics. That's all I know.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
If somebody asked me about my gut flora, I'd be like, this feels like an MLM. It's none of your business. From my cold dead hands, will you get this medical information?
Oh my God, do you have the girlies from high school and college that are, that's what I get. I get the girls that come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
Hey girl, I saw you're doing comedy. I know you've got a platform. Listen, would you ever want to join my, continue to run the Shempire? And you're like, no. I don't want to sell your Arbonne. I can't fucking do it.
I would say no because you use the word platform.
Yeah.
That really bothers me.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. I did make a reference in Nashville recently about essential oils. I was like, I don't care how many essential oils you sell
doTERRA
or eat, Young Living. Embrace the diarrhea because those moms would be lucky to have a kid as funny as yours. And by the way, when those kids are comedians for a living, they're going to buy you a house.
There you go. And that's on God, period. Let's get to the next voicemail. These are great. What time are we at, Josh?
I'm going to remain anonymous for this one. I apologize because I'm driving, but that's what I'm thinking clearly. I have an absolutely not. And I am calling this hotline because I have nowhere else to take my feelings. But I have an absolutely not to the phrase of it's going to be okay. Can we just all collectively cancel that phrase when someone tells you what they're going through? It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It'll happen when it needs to happen. I am so over it. Sometimes you just have feelings and you just need someone to respond back to you that says, yeah, you're fucking right. That's terrible. Or to get just as mad as you are.
Yeah.
I'm just over the it's going to be okay. We need to stop consoling each other so much. I mean, of course, if someone's, not well, we maybe should work that out. But
she's like, let me walk this back.
Is, if my Chick-fil-A sandwich order wasn't correct, don't say it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
React with me. Have the same reaction as me.
Okay,
what was your reaction?
Yeah, what?
She's like, get your gun.
Yeah. I literally shot all the employees.
We were on board with you until you said the Chick-fil-A example.
Had a fucking meltdown about a Chick-fil-A order. Then we were like, all right, bitch, you actually might need to get on some SSRIs. Yeah. Here was my thing. When my dad died, if anybody said to me, he's in a better place, I immediately, in my mind, had a checklist. You will never be invited to any family gathering ever again. I'm done with you. Because it was like people just don't get it. It's going to be okay. I feel like it's a little extreme.
I think people, first of all, we don't know, again, the context. If you're saying I can't get pregnant and people are like, just keep your chin up, you're like, that's go fuck yourself. Because you're in your own personal hell. When my dog died, not that I am comparing that to your father passing.
Yeah.
People kept sending me that Rainbow Bridge poem and I was like, this does not track for me. I don't like this. We don't know how other people grieve and we don't know what other people need. It is going to be okay. I mean,
it will actually.
Even if you die, it's okay because you'll be dead and you won't remember it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're wanting someone to fetch with you. And I think that's only certain friends where be like, I'm fucking mad too. But you would be very upset and you would be calling into Heather's podcast if they were like, everything's real bad. It's not going to get better. And that sucks. You'd be like, okay, where's the positivity? I think
100%. So I'm actually friends with this bitch. And she literally was like, go kill yourself.
She's like, everything's awful. You look really fat today. But I do think they're placating you because they don't really know what to say. And maybe the question, maybe per your Chick-fil-A example, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You need a best friend who's going to get down in the mud with you, but then uplift you.
That's my buddy Ray. Literally, I can call Ray and we can bitch so deeply, so from the core. It comes from the fucking grundle. And it is just let it rip for 20 minutes. And then it's like, all right, bitch, my blood sugar's low. You want to get a cookie?
Well, because you let it go.
You let it go.
You didn't hold it like a fart. And you didn't let it. And I think everybody has those friends who are like, can I call and just complain?
Yes.
And a good friend knows yes, I'm in it.
Yeah, and maybe you need to preface this to your
that's
caller.
right.
Maybe you need to be like, all right, here's the fucking deal. I'm going to bitch about how I just assaulted a Chick-fil-A employee.
Right.
And just y'all tell me I'm not going to jail.
Tell me that you can bail me out. She's like, I can't. You really hurt her face.
Literally, she was just doing her job in the drive-thru. Chill the fuck out. Do you ever have a phrase though in your life if somebody, it doesn't have to be like this, but just if you hear it coming out of someone's mouth, you're like, it's a hard pivot.
The bulk of aphorisms, they usually have to do with something biblical or I know I'm talking to the wrong audience.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'm always like, when I always say when God closes one door, he opens a window for you to jump out of. So I always do a little twist on it,
A really small window for you to force your body out.
Yeah, just to kill yourself with. Yeah.
I don't know. I think all of these like platitudes and aphorisms exist for a reason, but when you offer them up to someone, if they're not in the same space of acceptance that you are, then it rings hollow.
Yeah.
And so things do happen. I don't know if things do happen for a reason. It's not necessarily a good reason. You can look up the definition of reason.
Yeah.
It's not always good. So I don't know. It depends on the person saying it. We've heard all these things, but time does heal all wounds, and like that's really prophetic, but it just depends.
It really doesn't. I'll tell you, when it comes to like the dead relative thing, or at least the dead dad thing, I think time makes it worse.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The time, it's coming up with a 10-year anniversary, and there's days where I'm like, oh, so then it's just a reminder that it's been 10 years since I've had a conversation.
Sorry.
I mean, listen, it's shitty. I'm kind of with her on like, just tell me this fucking sucks.
That does suck.
But I will say, if anybody ever comes up to you at a funeral and says they're in a better place, immediately just walk the fuck away and be like, that person's dead to me now too.
Yeah, I guess if you haven't experienced that loss, like you truly don't, like I've hovered over my keyboard, like what do I say to this person? And the answer is you just say,
I love you.
I was gonna say diarrhea mom.
Yeah, diarrhea mom. Also diarrhea mom.
That is diarrhea is always funny. That's what I live with.
Yeah. And honestly, if you were at my dad's funeral, you're like, hey bitch, diarrhea mom, I'd be like, fuck yeah.
Your friends are gonna say tiramisu bitch. I'm gonna say diarrhea mom to you.
I like that.
And that's how you know I was on your podcast.
There you go. Do we have one more voicemail? Okay, let's get one more and then I'll let you get out of here.
And then I have to give you restaurant recommendations.
Oh yeah, please do. Please do.
I don't know where you're staying or where you're eating.
I'm at the one.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
I love the lobby.
I do too. Oh,
that's them.
Here it comes. Yeah, I go to Funky.
Hey Heather, I have a crazy absolutely not for you.
Here we go.
Absolutely not to my mother calling me last week on Tuesday and telling me, hey, just a heads up, I'm getting married on Thursday, as in 48 hours from now, to a man who I met 2 weeks ago. I was like, excuse me, no, you're not. You're not doing that. No, I'm sorry. And then she told me, okay, fine, because all of my sisters and I freaked out.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. We'll wait and like hold off and plan something.
We'll wait till next week.
And then she texted me on Sunday and said, hey, just so you know, I did end up getting married on Thursday.
Of course she did.
Yeah.
So.
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. Well, fuck. Now we actually got to give you sound advice. That's fucked. And of course she did. What, if I love my husband so much, if something happens, I'm done. I don't think I need to get married again.
Okay.
I could have a partner. I could, we could rub body parts together. I don't need to get married again. Oh God, I'm so stressed out for this caller. That's so frustrating.
Once again, first of all, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. Diarrhea mom.
We need the context because I don't know if the mom was in a bad relationship and then she met this guy. I don't know if the mom's older.
Yeah.
Your mom is a grown woman. She can make her choices. And I don't know, are you upset because you really, are you looking out for her? Do you not trust him? Are you upset because you were not involved more?
Right.
I think you have to look at, honestly, like it is fucked up. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You have your life. You guys have moved out of the house.
Yeah.
Your mom has her life and she wants to make good use of the time she has. So what are you actually, like, if you sit with yourself at your core upset
What are you
with?
upset about? Yeah.
What are you actually upset about? And was it because your mother, and I mean, Nick Kroll has a bit about this, and the truth, like when your mom doesn't answer the phone, I'm like, where the fuck are you?
Yeah. And then when she calls, you're immediately like, fuck. That was one of the best ever. Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah.
The anger, I'm like, you're calling me 3 times. Meanwhile, I'll call her 5 times in a row because she didn't answer. Is it a bit
I'm
of
calling
like,
the neighbors. I'm too like, are the lights on at the house? Like, where the fuck is Rob McMahon? Like, she's drunk at the country club. I'm like, that's my girl. Okay. Wellness check on Robin.
Wellness check. But it's like, if your mom has lived for you and been your mother through all this time and she's doing something for herself. So I would just get in touch. What is it that you're actually upset about?
Good point.
Because if it's not being included, you can still be included in their life. You can still take her out. You can still celebrate it. It's that she didn't consult you, but she doesn't need to.
Yeah. My mom has been back kind of, I say, in the dating, and my listeners have been listening to this for the last 2 years, but she recently got catfished by like an actual AI bot, like a scammer on Bumble, and nothing happened. But, she was like, I'm talking to this guy, and I look at his photo, and I'm like, okay, Mom, this is Photoshopped. Also, what is this number?
That's a picture of Matt Rife.
Yeah, 100%.
He's not your age.
And then she goes younger. Robin likes younger. And then I, backtrack the number, and it's like a full, this thing on Reddit about how this guy's been scamming everybody. And I'm just, so I'm in Mama Bear mode.
Yeah.
And it's the sandwich years where, you start to take care of kids. We're all taking care of your parents. I'm a sociopath.
Yeah.
But I also am like, Mom, I want you to get dicked down. You want to get dicked down? Go have a good
Do you
time.
say that? Do you say
I
that?
do. Yeah.
Okay.
We have my mom is 76, has the body of a 22-year-old, still perky titties. Like, she's great. She's like, Heather, I'm not dead yet. I'm like, go live your life. But I am also a sociopath. I am so overbearing.
Yeah.
And I want her to find love. And that's why I keep asking these fucking listeners to find somebody nice, and they haven't come through yet.
Well, you know what that is?
What?
No woman actually cares if another woman dies single.
Oh, fuck.
They don't.
Yeah.
Nobody cares if you at 26, all your friends are getting married. Nobody cares if you wither on the vine.
God damn.
You got to treat it like a sport. I'm sorry. That's my own thing. But as far as this girl and your mom, and also, at least for you, the extra layer of Mama Bear is because of AI and because of the scams and because it's not just like going out for coffee with a guy. It's like, is this guy trying to murder you and drain your bank account? This is very real.
It's very real. I keep getting these calls on my phone, says American Express. I've had like 10 in the last week. And then, of course, I don't answer it. And then I see the voicemail that they leave, and then I immediately go check my account. Everything's good. I'm like, it's even the fucking phone.
Fucked up.
The caller ID says Amex or Chase.
It's in every aspect of our lives. It's infiltrated. It's Russia.
Yeah, it's Russia. You're trying to do the best you can, so give yourself credit there, but I do like that advice. Sit down. What is actually, write the pros and cons list.
Yeah.
Is your mom actually going to be happy, or what is it that you're dealing with?
Take this guy to lunch. Also, like, it's not that you're not the dad.
Yeah.
But he didn't have to, like, ask your permission, but, like, that would have been noble, but it's also, like, what are you going to do?
Take the guy to lunch and just say, listen, my mom has crippling diarrhea. I don't know if you know what you got into. This seems like it's moving fast.
Gross.
Do you know she has Crohn's? And then
she
has a colostomy bag. It's not in now, but it will be in a week. So just so you know.
Hope you're down.
Yeah, shit's about to hit the fan. I adore you. Thank you for being here. Where can everybody find you?
I'm on Instagram, Iliza S. I have a podcast called Ask Iliza Anything.
And on tour, where can people find tickets?
Iliza.com/tour. It's all, look, I'm the only one. I'm the only Iliza. And it's spelled with an I. And you can find me. Follow me on Instagram if you want to know more about me doing stand-up and pictures of my dog, who is still under the table.
Has not moved. Not made a peep. Forgot. He was here, she.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, great. I like that. We love that. She's here. They
are here.
They are here in spirit. And it's really great to hang out with you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God. Ciao, Bella. A Riverdale Chi. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.